Okay, a little video of Avalon here at night. It's up at Hamilton Cove. That's the new condos. Swinging around to the casino. It's not really a casino, but it's a movie theater. It's a nice building. And town here. Truly a pretty sleepy little town on Monday night, even in August. Talked to a couple guys on the beach. They got some tuna today and a few sea bass on the east end and yellowtail.
You are looking at a rather chaotic scene on board the Grande out of San Diego, California, as Dorado are dominating catches right now. Already this morning, we've seen limits of Dorado, if you find that right, Kel Patty. Remember, limits in Mexican waters is 2 Dorado per angler. In the United States, it is 10 Dorado per angler. Great fishing going on.
In front of the casino, on 150 feet of water. If you can see, watch the bass.
At Whitaker on the bait boat Manana in front of the casino with live squid for you right now, chumming up the bass.
Sitting out here in the mud.
Give Pat a call before it's too late. Get your live squid at Catalina Island, enjoy some great bass fishing, or find some Dorado. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. On an absolutely pristine and gorgeous morning, the sun is rising. I can feel the heat on my face, and that ocean looks to be so flat, calm, and so inviting. There's a lot of great stuff going on. Big bluefin tuna starting to move in and provide some really excellent opportunities, even for local boats out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. The San Diego bite remains excellent as it is Dorado. Gone wild. Lots of Dorado starting to move in with these warmer El Nino temperatures. The water temps are up over 70 degrees in several different areas, and that is providing some more tropical fish. But where the heck are the yellowfin tuna? We're not seeing a whole lot of that yet. Hang on, I think that is on the horizon. Albacore, man, with this warm water, it's kind of getting more and more dubious right now here in Southern California. A huge hit on board the Endeavor up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing as Tucker McCombs does it again. And we have got so much more for you all. Good morning, my friends. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Oh my God, is that good? One more week of the Orange County Fair. I worked there as a bartender at Baja Blues, and so many of you have been so kind to come by and say hello, and I deeply appreciate that. The sleep deprivation experiment for 1 month here will be over on Sunday, and man, I'm kind of looking forward to that, getting more than 3 or 4 hours sleep a night. But as always, it's great to be here with you all. Please hit that like button, share these videos if you are enjoying them, subscribe to the channel, and also remember we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can catch up on all the latest on a regular basis. Tonight we're live over there from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. It's another edition of Tackle Shop Confessions with my dear friend Sam De La Torre, who was recently out with his kids Diego and Luna on the Monte Carlo, and they had some really fun local bass fishing. He'll be talking about that and answering all your questions this evening, 6 p.m. on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel live, so you can send in a question. August the 15th, we are on board the Horizon out of H&M Landing. A couple of spots left, not all that much right now. If you want to get on that trip, it departs August the 15th. Day and a half trip. We're leaving at 7 p.m. You can get on that by sending Captain Bill Wilkerson a text at 619-985-5179. I think 2 or 4 spots, something like that, left on our September 15th El Patron trip out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. If you'd like to join us, there's the phone number for you. Send me a text, and I'll book you on that one. All right, let's get into it. We'll go south of the border, start in the beautiful little town of Ensenada, Baja California, where fishing is really good locally, and the kelps offshore are holding copious amounts of colorful and acrobatic Dorado. It's really good fishing down south of the border for the Pongero guys. If they stay local, they're catching big bonitas, some yellowtail, really good calico bass fishing along the rugged, pristine, gorgeous Baja coast there around Punta Banda, even inside around University Point. And of course, the island that dominates Ensenada, Todos Santos, is providing some really good action. A few barracuda, great calico bass fishing if you get on the right one. And if all else fails, plenty of rockfish abound in that neck of the woods. Last night, the Royal Star with excellent nighttime bluefin tuna fishing, and there's some bigger grade BFT at night. You still can catch that smaller grade, 30, 40 pound stuff, but at night there's a lot of that 100 to 200 plus pound stuff biting, and last night was a good bite for the Royal Star, mostly 60 to 150 pound bluefin tuna, and they are biting on the jigs that Katy Perry Rip Roller's been red hot. Daiwa SK jigs have been good, 300 to 400 grams. Metered line, so you know the exact depth your lure is at, because that's perhaps one of the most important things you can do. When the cactus has dropped to 400 feet, you've got to know that your jig is right in front of one of those big bluefin tuna. The only way to do it is with that colored metered line. Changes color every 100 feet. It's easy. Even I can do it. So keep that in mind. Legend yesterday out of San Diego. That great dorado fishing in the morning and a decent pick at the bluefin tuna in the afternoon. And the dorado bite is definitely on right now. It is full speed out of San Diego. We're seeing dorado up here also in the LA Orange County area in Southern California. I'll get into that in a moment in greater detail with you all. But suffice to say, we are seeing some really good dorado fishing. Matt Tamayo, a great Friedman Adventures family member. Matt, good morning to you. He said he was on the Grande. Phil, he said to me, it was really good. Excellent fishing. And the dorado were not line shy at all. They were biting 40 pound. No problem at all with a 2-0 size hook. Nice hit with 57 dorado, 7 yellowtail. I don't know how you can beat that kind of a hit. Really excellent fishing on board the Grande. The San Diego had 29 dorado, 16 yellowtail. Other guys with big dorado scores like limits. Remember, in Mexican waters, so once you cross the border and you're fishing in Mexico Lindo, you can only have 2 dorado in your possession. In the United States waters, it is 10 dorado per angler, and it is fabulous fishing in many different cases. It just keeps going on and on and on. Don Salveson, he's on a 4-day trip right in the middle of it on board the Searcher, and he said, for bluefin tuna, man, it has been fantastic fishing. Good going. Don, happy to see that. That looked really, really good. Oceanside 95 with my good buddy Rick Slavkin yesterday. Got into a long drift, 4+ hours, and just picked at it. Remember those plunker bites? Remember the definition of that? You've got 1 fish going, 2, maybe 4 fish going. You go dry, and then you hang one. That kind of a bite on the 095. They ended up with over 45 bluefin tuna, and that's when fluorocarbon comes in super handy. That's when being able to drop down to 25 pound fluoro, if you have to, you go as heavy as you can get away with. Whatever will get a bite is what you want to fish with. You can go up to 40, 60 pound if they're biting it. As Matt pointed out, that dorado fired up, wanted to bite 40 pound yesterday, so he went to the heavy. And the same thing applies with bluefin tuna. Fish as heavy as you can, because even though you're catching 10 to 30 pound bluefin tuna, you never know when one of that big grade fish, 100, 200 pound fish, is going to bite your little bait, and it's going to screw you all up if you're on 25 pounds. So you have to be astute, you have to observe, and if you can't get a bite on the heavy, go down to the lighter stuff. It will make all the difference in the world. Blackfish, a yacht out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach. They had 5 bluefin, but the great, spectacular 100 to 200 pound stuff. The Pursuit has turned their attention out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro to offshore right now. And I'll tell you, just the opportunity to catch big bluefin tuna and dorado and so much more really is fantastic on a boat that leaves in the morning from San Pedro and then comes back that very same evening. Really excellent opportunities. Yesterday, talk about lost opportunities. They went 2 for 15 on the bluefin tuna, and as that number suggests, they were some quality fish. The one fish they had on board there was just under 100 pounds. Gorgeous fish. A lot of that 50 to 100 pound stuff, and the problem was under tackled. In other words, now here's the other thing. Guys are fishing 20, 25. They hook a 100-pound bluefin tuna. You're on it for a couple hours, and they lose it at deep color, and your heart just breaks seeing that. And they had a couple of those incidents on the Pursuit yesterday. So Bring some 50, 60 pound, heavier if you've got it. Don't leave your 20, 25 pound at home. You may go into the island and fish at Catalina Island, try to pick off some bass. So you got to bring the kitchen sink. In other words, you got to bring from the light stuff right on up to the heavy stuff. And Opsin fluorocarbon, that's our favorite pick. www.opsinusa.com. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll get a free gift from our dear friend Greg Brown over there at Opsin. So really some great opportunities. I love all this dorado. Will we get a replay of last year's historic dorado bite in Southern California? I got to think yes. We're seeing so much of it around right now. Local boats, offshore. There's a lot of flatheads, and that El Nino is just going to push more and more fish in our direction. A few more Eastern Pacific tropical disturbances like hurricanes pushing warm water our way as we get deeper into summer and ultimately into the fall. And the future is so bright right now. It's looking good. Brandon Cross is a private boater. He got out and looked for kelps and succeeded with some excellent dorado fishing. So, man, I don't know what to tell you. It is just flat good fishing offshore. Everybody, no, they don't all get them. But in most cases, it's been pretty darn good here right now. And it suggests to you the pursuit with that good go around on the bluefin tuna yesterday, and then you hear south of the border bluefin, there's a huge spread to this thing. And man, I'll tell you, we are so blessed here in SoCal. So bring the kitchen sink in terms of tackle right now. I had a great guy contact me yesterday about our September 8th trip on board the Apollo out of C4 Sport Fishing. He said, hey, I'm going to the tackle store. I don't know what to get. Can you tell me? And my answer was, no, I can't. Not because I'm being a jerk. I mean, I've been known to be that once in a while also, but because I have no idea what's going to be going on September 7th. So it's better to hold off and buy your tackle if you can, you know, maybe a week in advance, but better a couple days in advance. So many times the boys up there in the wheelhouse make their decision on the way out. They are gathering intel. They're trying to figure it out. They're looking at water temperatures. They're checking a myriad of different factors to make your trip a successful one. So hang on your tackle until the last minute. Get some intel from here or wherever it is you like to get your intel. And man, that will make all the difference to your success. Let's talk islands. We talked to Los Santos. Coronado Islands still have a lot of yellowtail. Those islands are very near San Diego, but in Mexican waters. You need a passport to fish there. Good yellowtail action, a little bit of barracuda, and some off the hook calico bass fishing if you turn your attention to that. Dan Ross with a nice yellowtail at San Clemente Island. Dan, congratulations. Great catch there. It's picky, scratchy for the most part at San Clemente Island. You get fish from 5 to over 20 pounds there. Surface iron sometimes is very, very effective, but a fly line bait has probably been the best way to make that happen. Catalina still kind of hit and miss, not all that great. You know, a few yellows, occasional halibut, whitefish, sheep's head, calico bass, but kind of picky, and I think that's why the pursuit's going offshore right now. They do, however, go into the island because this bluefin is pretty close to that. Incidentally, speaking of Catalina Island, we have live squid available there for you this morning. Pat Whitaker is there. You can call him on his cell phone, or you can get him on Channel 11. You can see the numbers right there, and they were also on the lead-in, but he's there right now with live squid for you. Man, you've got to be kidding me. You take that squid and fish, even if you don't know exactly how to fish cat, or you're not that good on spots, you fish the kelp line with that. It will be amazing. I mean, you look at Pat, and he was out in the mud. In other words, no structure. There's no kelp. There's no rocks. Those are the zones that calico bass love to inhabit, their favorite little place to make a home. And he had none of that. And he threw some squid over, and he had bass flying all over the place out in the mud. You will catch some bass full speed. Might catch some sea bass, halibut, and who knows what else with that live squid. Keep that in mind. All right, up there in the Channel Islands, we have been waiting for that explosion to take place again, and it took place on the Endeavor. Tucker McCombs out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing all over the white sea bass, all over the halibut. Fantastic fishing. All they needed up there was some good weather, and they got it, and excellent fishing. 42 white sea bass, and also 19 halibut, to go along with that. I don't know how it can get much better than that. The weather up there is going to be beautiful. The wind is out of the forecast right now, and that was the problem up there. They had gale force winds at one point in time in that neck of the woods, and it just put a stop to some excellent fishing. But back to good weather. There's live squid up there. It's looking very, very good in that neck of the woods. A lot of dropper loop fish, 6-ounce torpedo sinker, and wow, what a score again. Big score, 42 sea bass, 19 halibut on board the Endeavor. Let's talk local fishing. Good calico bass fishing for the boys out of San Diego. The half-day boats have been all over it. They can always turn their attention to rockfish and do really well on that. But that calico bass bite down there has been great. Fishing lighter line will get you more bites. 12, 15-pound fluorocarbon. Man, the bass will be chewing you apart when you drop down to that. Moving you up to Dana Wharf, there's some good fishing in that neck of the woods. Also for bass, a little bit of barracuda. They had a dorado on the half-day boat the other day, so get ready. It's about to happen again. We're going to see that up here in the LA Orange County area. It was a little slower, but still not all that bad. Guys can fall back on sculpin if the bass bite's not that good, but there has been some really great fishing. But I want to say it was a little bit slower. Freelance had great fishing. Seems like a lot more short sand bass mixed in here in the last 48 hours. Great fishing on the Freelance, who incidentally fished twilight, and they've been having good fishing at night. Also, Native Sun, you know, not bad with 100 bass. A little bit of barracuda to go along with it. They were in a bass zone, not the barracuda zone. If you hit the barracuda zone here, it's still pretty darn good, as evidenced by the Enterprise had 142 barracuda. Surface iron fish abounding like a Taddy C. I love it with a single hook, easy release that way, or easy in the gunny sack that way. They also had 40 calicos, 15 sand bass, and a $1.75 on the sculpin. Nothing wrong with that kind of a hit. Marina Del Rey had 3 halibut yesterday, and also a little bit of bass and rockfish. Nothing wrong with that. Same thing out of Redondo. They're picking away at the calico bass, providing excellent table fare with some good rock fishing there in that neck of the woods. The Island Spirit up there out of Ventura, fishing locally with a light load. This is the time to jump on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. Cody Rogers and his crew, so much fun to fish with. And with 11 guys, they end up with 45 on the sand bass, 5 calico bass, and a halibut. Not bad at all, I will tell you that. Back to the Victory, I just want to mention that GT Palmer from Fishing Syndicate was out on the Victory with my good friend Steve Phelps from Long Beach Sport Fishing, and they had really good local bass fishing. Not as good as it has been, but a good pick at the fish. A little bit of barracuda also in the picture for you all. Really, really good signal and sign. And this weather can't get any more gorgeous. Now in the surf, and remember, if you love to surf fish as I do, it's been great. Summertime is the right time to do it. A lot of corvina in that short water. You can overcast for corvina. People don't understand that those things are right there where that wave is breaking right now. That's where you're going to find those corvina. A little trout rod with 6 or 8 pound on it, Carolina rig, and I'll tell you, a sand crab or a ghost shrimp, something like that. Those corvina can't resist. You can sight fish them. In other words, you see them before you catch them. You anticipate the direction they're moving in, run up in front of them, put your bait about 6 feet in front of their little noses, and when they swim in there, they're going to bite it. Also, some really good spot fin croaker fishing going on again here this morning. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. These guys fish down here. They like to fish daybreak. Well, not important what the tide is doing, and they do really well. And those are the guys that dig the sandworms. They put in the effort in the surf here, and they dig up the sandworms. There's a video here on Friedman Adventures YouTube channel for you about how to do that. If you search that, sandworms in the surf, you'll do really good. It will up your game. Good surf fishing, big fish, bait, and tackle. You know, I can walk there in 15 minutes from where I'm standing right now. And they've got tons of bait, tons of great surf fishing stuff. That is your surf fishing headquarters, that is for sure. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great day today. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below. We'd love to see a comment. Will there be any more albacore this year? I'm asking you, make a comment, make a prediction. The water's getting really, really warm right now, so who knows. Don't forget to join us on a Friedman Adventures trip. We have got As I mentioned, August the 15th on the horizon, day and a half, September the 15th, out of beautiful 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the El Patron. All right, great day. Beautiful weather. Hope you're having fun with family and loved ones. And more than anything, I can't thank you enough. And I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends. The El Patron operates out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, and they have a slew of 1.5-day trips where you'll fish with only 10 anglers on board. Bluefin tuna fishing, yellowtail fishing is outstanding in Southern California, and there's no better way to do it than on the El Patron. 310-832-8304 or visit 22ndstreet.com.